Okay, water signs, welcome to your daily focus tarot for Wednesday. So this is a bit of a challenge. The Ethereal Visions did not want to give me any cards for you. The Druidcraft was being a little more helpful, but not very much. So something is going on with you. Okay, sorry to hear that. Now, Queen of Swords, I'll show you what it is in the upright. So this is a card all about knowledge, about being organized, being unbiased. She's great at analyzing situations, understanding them. She's got, knowledge, and she's not afraid of that knowledge. She's not afraid to use it. She's getting ready to act, but she hasn't decided to act just yet. So, and this is solid knowledge because her throne of wood, it's on the rock. The tree is on the rock, right? So this is very solid knowledge that she's got. Now, in the reverse, this can, it can talk about a person who is cruel and distant, or somebody who is overly ambitious or even overly emotional, like they don't have that clarity of thought. They don't have control over their thoughts. This could be somebody who is easily influenced by others, and particularly the negativity of others. So, cleanse yourself, protect yourself spiritually, emotionally, cut out toxic people. The dogs decided to be rambunctious, so cleanse yourself and cut out toxic people. Now, the other card that fell out when I asked for what you should focus on today, I'll show you that one in the upright too. This one came out sideways. This is King of Pentacles, so it's halfway between the upright and the reverse. Now, in the reverse, this talks about somebody who is obsessed with wealth and status, has money instability. They're overly controlling and suppressing. So think like a dictator type ruler. In the upright, it's talking about somebody who has disciplined leadership, but they don't need to be overly controlling in that leadership. There, we'll focus again. It can also talk about somebody who is productive and responsible, somebody who's an influence, who has abundance. You see, he doesn't need to be on the defensive. He's got his shield there. He's conquered the boar. He's conquered that that unknowing side of himself. I'll explain a little bit more. And this little bird that's here looks like, come on, focus. It looks like moonrise, right? We just had the full moon. This little bird, something you may have had a dream, or something may have happened around the full moon, because birds are messengers, right? They're messengers from, depending on what cultural background you have, they can be messengers from the gods. They can just be messengers from your higher self. They're just messengers. So that little bird is sitting in the window telling him something while he's sitting on his throne, giving him an update or giving him some new information. And he's definitely about healing and maintaining that healing. So for him to come in sideways, this is talking about you're not quite there yet. He's not in the reverse, but he's also not in the upright. He's getting there, but he's not quite there yet. At the bottom of the deck, the Hangman. So this is Odin. And he's sacrificed himself to gain this knowledge. He should be harvesting, and you see the scythe, or the sickle. You see the sickle. He's got the forget-me-nots. He's got the wheat. So he's got the abundance Where are those red flowers? Not sure if they're poppies. I would assume they're poppies for remembrance with the forget-me-nots there. So he's got, and you see the 4 in his legs and the 4 in his arm. He is sacrificing himself to gain the knowledge of the runes, the knowledge of language and how to implement a language system, a way to communicate. Instead of harvesting the wheat when it should be harvested, he's set it aside. You know, and in older times, you wouldn't have, like, your day job would literally be surviving, okay? So you wouldn't want to, if it was time to harvest the wheat, you would want to be harvesting the wheat until it was done. You wouldn't want to tie yourself to a tree in bondage to gain knowledge. That would not be appropriate. It wouldn't be the right time to do it, right? So it's a sacrifice in that he is not doing what he needs to do to feed himself, to support himself, or to support his family. Right? He is trying to gain this knowledge, and he's taking the time out to do it. Underneath the Hangman. So that, you know, most people will read that card as a card of, if not a card of sacrifice or stalemate, I think is how the one book describes it. It's a card of like being at a crossroads. So some people will look at it that way. I look at particularly that one is more of a card of needing to gain knowledge on something. And then once you gain that knowledge, the Fool is underneath. And the Fool is the new start. He's got that harvest. He's got loyalty to himself. He's got a brand new rucksack. He's as light as a feather in his thinking, and now he can take off on that journey, on that leap of faith. Underneath that, 8 of Pentacles, talking about building your skills. So a new journey towards communication, towards structure, towards learning a craft and building skills. And now here we have the Strength card. And the Strength card is also about Odin. So 3 cards about Odin, right? So instead of the lion, her swords, her thoughts, her ability to combine and balance her thoughts, to balance the 2 sides of herself, it's laying on the ground because she's already conquered it. The red is her passion, right? She's already conquered this imbalance. She's conquered these negative thoughts. And now she has control. She has that inner strength. That's what the Strength card is. It's inner strength. It's strength coming within. And it's the power to overcome like your fears, your anxieties, any troubles that you may have in life. She's wearing this golden dress, but the red, the passion, the blood is covering it, right? So she's got the gold from this skill building. And you can take gold as being like, like the saying you're golden, or like the Midas touch, or like it's just solid, it's bright, it's there for you, right? So she's conquered the stagnation of the Hangman. She's conquered this inability to communicate, this lack of language in terms of her thinking, right? And her imbalance in her thinking. Even though she's very passionate, she's very full of blood, she's conquered it. She's got her hand on it. The boar is kind of like her pet now. And here, the King of Pentacles, he's eating the boar, right? He's eating that inner strength. He's mixed it with fire. So he's mixed it with passion. And he's wearing the color of passion red, right? He's wearing the color of blood, of family, of life. And he's also primarily dressed in the color of healing, green, which is also the color of prosperity. Money is the color, in most countries, the color green, because things that you buy with money, like food that you need, they are also green. All of the crops that grow, even if they don't wind up being green in the end, they start out green. Their leaves are green, trees are green, flowers, the leaves are green. Sometimes the actual flower itself is green. Same with plants. But all their leaves are green, right? All their stalks, for the most part. So this is, he's all about, I have this lack of needing to be defensive. I have this lack of needing to feel like I don't have enough, or I don't have the language, or I don't have the ability to start a new life. I don't have the skill set. He's overcome that because he's got the boar on the fire. He's getting ready to eat it. He's internalizing it. Now, underneath the Strength card, the Ten of Wands. So this is about you dropping some burden, some mental, emotional burden. So it's a lot like Queen of Swords in that regard. You are dropping this burden. This new language, this new inner strength and new journey and skill building is helping you to drop this burden. Five of Wands, under that, this is a card of conflict. And even though it's wands, the way that they're kind of shaped, it makes like the bodies and the wands make like a pentacle shape in this deck. So this is not only like a sort of spiritual issue and a thought issue, but those spiritual issues, those thoughts are leading to what's in your material world, and they're interacting with it under the Five of Wands. So there's some conflict that you were going through that caused this burden and caused you to be defensive, caused you to really look at where you wanted to go and what you wanted to do, and have that vision, have that steadfastness. He's also got his shield by his side, but he doesn't look as comfy. He looks like he's ready, like it's right there, and he's ready to jump up and go back into this defensiveness, this self-perseverance. And underneath that was Eight of Swords, which is talking about binding yourself and entrapping yourself through not wanting to see something and not wanting to take off those binds. She could quite easily cut with one of those sword edges that's sticking in the ground. She could try and get this blindfold off. There's literally nobody guarding her. It's just her. And these thoughts are stuck in the ground. The ground, it's grass with some flowers, right? It's not rock solid. She could pull those swords out. She could kick them over. She could, move them with her hands or her legs if she wanted to. And they're not, notice they're not all like right in a row, like right together. Like they're not really keeping her in. She's staying in there herself. It's like she's entrapped herself in this ring. And she can get out of it. You can get out of it, with this skill building, with this new beginning, with being able to come up with this language and have this vision for your future. Now, underneath that Eight of Swords, Page of Wands. So this is the new beginning. This is the enthusiasm, the ability to look past the negative stuff. Underneath that, Ace of Swords. So the breakthrough in thinking, the breakthrough in balance in your life. The ripple effect of that arm saying, no, I'm not going to keep doing this. I'm not going to be defending myself all the time, but then also blindfolding myself and keeping myself trapped. And for what? What are you keeping yourself trapped for? You know, why aren't you on this journey with this skill building, this new beginning, this journey of knowledge? You know, maybe you do have to sacrifice yourself a little bit. Maybe there will be conflict when you drop these burdens, but why aren't you dropping them? You have the strength. You have the inner strength to do this. You have the ability to flip this King of Pentacles upright and have abundance. You have the ability to, if this is a person, escape this person, to get out of their way. And if this is you, then you have the ability to flip this over as well. I hope some of this made sense to you. It was a little bit complicated and long. Sorry for that. Have a great Wednesday. I'll see you tomorrow.